How'd I do with my DIY spitball? Will you allow me to tell my wife I told you though? Hi, Joe, Al, Andy. Love the show. Have been a weekly listener for almost 2 years and have been binged listening to many of the others. You guys are awesome. I have learned a lot, laughed as much as I've learned. All right, thank you.
Cool.
I've listened to Joe and Al do spitballs, and based on what I've learned from them, I decided to do my own. I'm hoping they will give me a grade on my work. I fear that snarky and flippant Joe will give me a C or C plus, or even a failing grade. On the other hand, I hope that cool, calm, and collected Big Al might come through and give me a straight A.
Wow, you know us.
Yes, flippant, snarky Joe. I like it. My wife and I are 59, have no animals, consume no alcohol, and she drives her new cutie Toyota. Cute ute. Oh, cute. Oh,
no, it's a ute. A ute in Australian and English means truck.
Yeah, two utes.
Okay. Well, I read it cute.
A Toyota RAV4 hybrid. I am made to drive the 13-year-old Toyota Camry 4-banger with 175,000 miles. It looks like new almost, has been ultra reliable and currently has absolutely zero problems that need fixed. That is part of the argument between me and her. Because it's super reliable and looks great and fully paid for, she says, I don't need a new car. I hope that you approve of my spitball well enough to convince my wife that we can afford me to buy a luxury truck of my dreams with all the new gizmos, gadgets, and safety features.
Oh, that's easy. Just go to your friend's house and have his car parked next to you and slam the door into it a few times. Get a hammer on the back.
You know,
make it look bad.
Here it goes. Let's see. We got all of these steps are based on retirement at age 60, and he's got a few steps here. First step.
Okay.
Our current annual spending is $130,000 a year. This is based on my detailed spreadsheet tracking it for over several years. No, Joe, I'm not an engineer. We want to and will need to maintain this level of spending in retirement. Okay. That's why he needs to drink.
So far, no grade on that one. That's just a comment.
Step 2. I inflated our annual expense to $127,500 per year by an annual inflation rate projected at 4% per year for 8 years. This gets me to 2030. The first year, each of us will get paid our full Social Security benefit. Based on this inflation protection, our annual spend on 2030 is $175,000. In addition, I project that we will need enough to cover. Projected annual income tax of $12,000 per year. All right.
Okay.
This means annual gross income of 2030 of $187,000. All right. Great.
Okay. Good.
Step 3. I use the Social Security website to determine our projected PIA based on the current numbers and increase it by 2.5 per year. And assume inflation increase, we will receive a combined amount of $37,000 in 2030. Step 3. We own debt-free a small rental unit that produces annual income based on assumed 10 months rental rate at the current rate and a 2.5% inflation for 8 years, which produces an annual income of $20,000 a year.
And that was the second step 3.
Yeah, there were 2 steps.
2 step 3s. He's looking at his fixed income. So he's got $37,000 in 2030 for Social Security, and he's going to get $20,000.
Yeah.
Right? Are we with?
Yeah, we're with.
60,000.
Call it 60, yeah.
I then subtracted 37,000 from our projected Social Security income and 20,000 from our projected annual rental income from the 187,000 gross income goal. This leaves $130,000 of income needed from our investment retirement assets based on a 4% annual distribution rate. This means we need a total retirement investment of $3.2 million by 2030. Boom. Right on.
Look at that. So far,
you're killing it.
So A so far.
So far, you're a
we'll see what the next
certified financial planner here. Step 5. Our total investment retirement assets of a June 30, 2022, after the losses of the first 2 quarters are $2.4 million. These funds are held in a mix of tax deferred, after-tax Roth, and small brokerage account. I then assume ongoing annual contributions of $42,000. These contributions will be maximum contributions to our Roth IRAs and 401k contributions to the company match. I also assume an annual growth rate on the investments of 4.5%. Again, I'm being conservative. With the continued contributions for 6 years and an annual growth rate of 4.5% on the investments, this should get us to 3.4 million. This is 144% more than our annual needed amount of 3.2 million.
$144,000.
144,000. I realize that there are few alternative scenarios that would create the need for adjusting the plan into bringing our income and bridging our income for several years. For example, we might decide to retire early at 65 rather than our full retirement age of 67, or we might defer the larger Social Security payments to age 70. I know this is generally a good idea, and I know all my assumptions are speculative. So how'd I do with my DIY spitball? Is my methodology sound and my assumptions appropriate? Are we on track? Can I buy my luxury truck? Will you allow me to tell my wife, I told you though? Thanks again for the great show. The Wannabe Luxury Truck Driver. The answer is yes, my friend. Go buy the truck.
I think it's a great plan. I got no complaints.
No complaints. I give you an A.
The only thing
except for you don't have cocktails.
The only thing we didn't really get into is how much is Roth versus deferred. And should you be doing some Roth conversions on the way to take advantage of lower brackets? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know enough about your situation. That would be something you could add to this to make it an A+, but you're right on track.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, he's listening to the show. He gets it. You take your spending, you inflate it with inflation. He did that. He was conservative with his inflation rate. He was conservative with his growth rate.
Right.
He figured what's the shortfall. He did the division of 4%. It says, here's what the need is. How do I get to the need? I think you're right on. But now the problem is that that's just a starting point. Now, how are you going to create the income from the overall portfolio? What is your tax rates going to be? How are you going to pull from your tax deferred, your taxable, your Roth accounts? How is that going to, bridge to the Social Security, to age 70 and so on and so forth? So you could really maximize this to the fullest if you start now going to the next level.
Yeah, that's right. So how do you manage and monitor, right? Because if things change, you're going to have to think about this a little bit differently.
Right. And let's say markets go down 20% and you're pulling that $140,000 out. Now, what is that going to do? So,
right.
I mean, that's a spitball. So great job on the spitball. But now, you got to wad that thing up a little bit more to kind of really hone this in. But yeah, go to hell. What the hell? Buy the truck.
Anyway, I'm good with you buying the truck too.
Are you prepared for retirement? Schedule a free financial assessment with an experienced financial professional right online at purefinancial.com.